As many of you may know, Maryville Overwatch Academy won their first national championship versus Texas Tech a couple weeks ago, right? And this was kind of a statement win because Texas Tech had beaten Maryville Academy close 3-2 in the regular season, and they went undefeated in the playoffs, and they looked unstoppable, right? And today I want to go over kind of why we won, and what were the main key details. So, firstly, outside the game, I think preparation was a big factor. In my opinion, we changed a lot, right? Texas Tech, they didn't really change many comps, right? They kind of stayed the same comps, same strategies, kind of same map picks, right? However, Maryville Academy, we switched up most of our comps. We created the comp sheet. We switched up the strategies, and we really voted and learned a lot. It looked like Texas Tech kind of was stuck in the same model, right? And something that we noticed was that we were quite undisciplined into LRF, right? We know that Texas Tech's their guy is LRF. He's their guy, right? When he's doing well, the team's doing well. When he's not doing well, the team's going to struggle, right? And we know that they love this hazard comp, right? So we're thinking, what are two things that can make these two guys hindered? And we notice that there's two things. One, D.Va, right? D.Va makes both these heroes, both LRF, both in clamps, both very difficult, right? Because D.Va, right, when hazard slashes in, D.Va eats the Curie cards, D.Va eats the dynamite, and also D.Va can just burn him with the major perk with the R and the rockets as well. So, firstly, D.Va. D.Va's a huge swap, and then also just go Genji instead of Tracer, right? Genji's gonna be a lot easier. And then the third thing is banning Sombra. We banned Sombra. We noticed that in the TTU game and in general, we struggle with Sombra. Because although Sombra right now she just got buffed, but normally Sombra is not very good, especially with Tracer. However, we noticed that if Sombra's in the backline, it's just a huge theoretical threat, meaning that it's mostly the presence isn't the actual value of the hero. So let's take a look here, but especially about this first fight. Something I want to notice you is we really learned that we need to be disciplined versus LRF. And you saw this in Shambali too, if you watch the match. Shambali, we swung wide, especially last fight. We swung wide and we got punished for it. When you ego duel LRF, he's probably going to win. And we noticed that we need to be disciplined and we need to not take these ego duels. So if you watch it, look, right? We understand what our advantages are. We know that this D.Va comp can take space really, really easily, while this Ashe comp has to set up, right? We have nearly double flex. We don't really need to set up. We can just kind of cheat and go. So that's exactly what we did. Look at how aggressive our map space is. It's about what, like maybe 10 seconds into the round, you have boom, boom, boom. On Busan downtown, whoever wins Mega Room normally wins first fight, and then they get point. Once you get point, it's nearly over because holding point and holding space on Busan downtown is so easy. Every map is split up into 3 lanes, right? You have main lane, this mega lane, and then coast. Lane control is the most basic concept in Overwatch. However, it's the most important concept. And we know that by doing this, sure, they have main lane, but bro, look at how many heroes get actual value here. Their Trish is doing nothing. Their Lucio is doing nothing. Their Ashe is sure, I guess, shooting a Genji, and then their Kyrie is just healing nothing. So, again, it's also about individual value, right? Sure, there's team macro, but individual value also takes a factor. Because look, this Tracer now has no help on her engage, and she's going to get picked off really easily. And this is kind of the big fight I wanted to show, is again, being disciplined, right? Look, nobody's hard swinging the Ashe. Maybe my Sojourn, but he can kill him. But me and Kiri and even Genji aren't really swinging Ashe like we used to. We aren't just like inting and getting picked first, right? We're being a bit disciplined, and boom, quick pick on the Tracer. And again, the Hazard struggles into D.Va, and then we just snowball from there, right? Take the map control, right? Hazard really struggles in the D.Va, and the boosters got buffed, and a lot of other things about D.Va have been buffed recently. Okay, that was a big first fight, and we won that one, for example, due to lane control and discipline. And also, okay, but however, let's look at a bad example on why TTU won. Okay, this is an example of us being undisciplined. If you watch the match, you know this. We talk about this a lot. It's mostly just a joke within the team now, but if you watch this map, right, they have a window. We called a long time ago, hey, they're going to window OC. Let's kite it, and then let's pull our ults, right? We have 3 fight-winning ults. Let's kite the window OC, right? The window overclock. This is one shot to everybody. Let's kite this, and let's go back in with our ults. We've got plenty time, plenty space. So let's see what happens, right? Window, right? Huge Rammy, huge E by Kirshen. That's an opening pick right there. This should be the game, right? This should be the game. You know, with BAP dead, there's no way they win this, right? Surely not. But no, right? Not only does Kirsten peak once, but then Kirsty then re-peaks, leading to obviously the obvious doom. So again, there, being disciplined, that's a common theme in the series. And then, for example, if we look at last fight, right? Discipline, right? Don't get too jumpy, right? Toady, this is excellent discipline. Although he could pull the EMP here, right? Normal summon players, pull the EMP, get 2 supports, find a kill, find a trade, right? But again, if he doesn't kill the Dewcio, they're going to come back with beat. Now our main flanker is down, and we lose our biggest ult, which is EMP. This is huge discipline, right? But said Toady knows, hey, let's just chill. Let's pressure the Echo, right? We know Echo's been a problem. And he comes back to peel me, right? Because he knows, right? Their monkey's undisciplined. Epic Z-Ray quite undisciplined all series, right? He dives in backline primal just for me. He ignores his whole team. His whole team is now in a 3v4 frontline. And Toady knows, hey, let's just come back, peel my Dewcio. My Dewcio can then flip map, flip onto the front line, boom. Now Toady aggroes the 1v1. This is really smart. Boom, aggroes the 1v1. But because Epic Z-Ray spent 20 damn seconds to my backline, his frontline's down, right? Echo's gonna be dead. It forces beat really early because guess what now? That forces the beat now, right? But look, boom. He's going to get EMP'd after the beat. He's going to have better beat. We're going to have rush, right? So again, it's being disciplined, bro. Discipline's so important. You can't get greedy, especially in big overtime moments. And Epic Z-Ray greeted a lot. If you watch the series, Oasis he greeted. This he greeted. So again, it's making sure to not be greedy. And I can't sit here and say that Maryville Academy wasn't greedy, right? You saw the Shambali clip. If you watch Kings Row on why they lost in the 3-2 regular season match, is because they got greedy on last fight KR, right? It's about being greedy. So overall, yes, Maryville Academy won this match due to preparation differences and discipline. You know, discipline, and then obviously not being scared of LRF either, right? He's human at the end of the day. He's human. He's not proper. He's not lip. He's not Seeker. He's not some of these top hit scans in the region. No, God, no. He's far from it. So, again, limit testing and being disciplined are some of the most important stuff in Overwatch, really. On top of preparation, comp changes. So, overall, right, congrats to Maryville Academy and in their win versus Texas Tech.